Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nairobi, Kenya, and we're live at the Alternative Voice on Facebook and YouTube. Where you tuned in from? If you can start catching up on that first part, tell us where you're watching us live from. And tonight we have amazing discussion that you would not want to miss. This is the Alternative Voice. I'm your host, as usual, Cleophas Watch. Yes, if you're joining us on Facebook, karibu sana. This is where we share our points, and this is where we engage and also talk more about matters to do with youth. Waiting for you to check in and also to tell us where you are joining us live from. Bill Hajoy already there on the comment section, on the chat session on YouTube. Yay, the first one. And best up prof. I'm tuned from Nairobi. Others, where are you joining us live from? Join this live discussion. Tonight we're talking about something that you are really conversant with. Yes. Bila amenitangulia aje, usijali Bri. Sao is here, Caroline Omolo, Mimi Bri, best up prof. Karibuni sana, and tonight we're talking about social media. How can we utilize it for our career growth, other than using it on just sharing pictorials? So this is an amazing discussion, and Alex Onsase is there. Mimi Breeze Yokimau is watching. Alex Onsase, Bila alishinda hapa. Yes, so joining us live in this discussion is one amazing lady, a young lady who is doing great things in the field of communication and the digital space. And currently she's running a very good initiative in the company that she just joined. And she's here tonight to talk to us more on social media and how we can harness these platforms to ensure that we get that conducive environment to pursue our careers as well. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us here, remember to subscribe and also to follow this page on Facebook as well as YouTube. Charity Mbithe is our guest tonight. Karibu Charity.
Asante sana Cleophas.
It's nice having you here for the first time after a long time of trials. Tumekuwa tukisema tu ati we really want to have Charity on our show, but hi, we're blessed tonight to have you.
Thank you.
So where is Charity joining us live from?
I'm joining live from America, in Answer. I'm doing live for Yaki Way.
Great to have you. I don't know if you can get me continuously, Charity.
Not really. I think I'm experiencing a bit of delay, so I'm not having instant feedback from your end.
Okay, fine. We'll take you on the backstage, then you'll be in a position to join us immediately after this is done. Can you hear me now without any delay?
I believe I can. Let's keep it going, okay. And then if there isn't, I'll just notify. Yeah.
Great. So thank you very much, Charity, for joining us in this live discussion. And tonight we're talking about utilizing social media for career development. Yes, and career growth. First, tell our viewers who is Charity Mbithe, tujue tu where we stand. Who is Charity, and what is Charity doing in this city along Wayaki Way?
All right, so my name is Charity Mbithe, like Cleophas has mentioned. I like to say this. I think a lot of people don't say this outrightly, but I'm a born-again Christian. That's what we love to start. Who loves Jesus and loves God a lot. So that's who I am as of now. And then in terms of professional, I will give you a quick brief on the different categories I've worked ever since I graduated from campus. So I studied communication and journalism in Mo University. And after graduation, I joined A+ Interiors Designs. I was the communications strategist / digital media consultant there. And it was pretty interesting, yeah. So after around 4-5 months, I left to Centonomy, and I've been serving at Centonomy as the public relations and communications assistant for about 1 year and 8 months. And then now I have recently just finished my 3 months at Lattice. Yes, so that's me professionally. I love communications. I love public relations. I love anything that engages people, public speaking, and just being around people and communicating with people. So that's who I am. If you catch me on a not so very serious day, I'll be swimming or playing tennis. Yes, that's me in a brief. Yes.
Wow, wow, great bio from Charity Mbithe tonight. And so, Charity, other than having the serious aspect of you, other
Mhm.
than swimming, also because most swimming pools were closed as COVID tried to bring us back to the abnormal life that we are not used
Mhm.
to. What other thing
Yeah.
do you do other than swimming? Swimming.
What other thing do I do other than swimming? So I try morning runs, but I mean, still lazima. I like exercising. Actually, I like exercising. So it's either swimming or running or tennis. There's table tennis and there's lawn tennis. So I do both. I also like hosting people a lot and just playing, having team building games or anything that engages. I'm an extrovert, but lately I think with COVID, I'm learning that I'm actually I'm an ambivert. But yes, I love anything that engages people. And I love watching Friends. I have watched that thing like a million times. It's a series on Netflix, yeah. So that's what I do mostly.
Great to have you, Charity. And now 3 months at Lattice. What have you been doing at Lattice, and how is that translating to this great title? You are a strategic communications expert. What are you doing at Lattice, and what is Lattice engaged in?
Okay, so I'll start with the first bit of what Lattice is engaged in. So Lattice has three companies, and mentioning Lattice Consulting Limited, then we have Lattice Training Limited and Lattice Aquaculture Limited. So it's like a consortium of three companies. We hope to go big as we go by. So under Lattice Consulting, basically we do a lot of strategy, corporate finance, research, and due diligence to businesses. And then under Lattice Aqua, like it literally sounds, it's more about water and fish as a protein and all that. So we do aquaculture financial management training to corporates, to companies and farms and all that. Then we also do capacity building and knowledge transfer across the same area, and as well as social and economic development through aquaculture. And then under Lattice training, so we have business acumen, we have business development trainings that we offer, financial modeling to corporates and all that. And then new recently launched actually on 7th of May. It's been almost 3 months or so. There's the Aquaculture Academy, which is like the fourth, it's not like it is the fourth company of Lattice. So here we just train fish farmers or anyone interested in fish farming how to be a profitable aquaculture or rather a fish farmer. And this includes all the steps from, the parents to the eggs to all the steps until the fish is on your table. Yes, so that's what we do at Lattice. So I joined Lattice in March, let's say April, start of April. And so far, it's been good. It's been an amazing experience. One thing before I dive into what I actually do at Lattice, you should know that I got this job from my social media. I didn't know anyone. They just got in touch. I didn't apply for any job. Got in touch through my LinkedIn, and that is just to pinpoint how LinkedIn and how revamping your social media platform is very important. So when I joined, I'm the communications and digital content associate. So that pretty much means in terms of communications, there's the strategy bit, there's the public relations bit, there's the media relations bit. We have the crisis management, and we are a small company, but we are small but effective. So we love being small so that we are very personal to our clients. So I'm also I'm actually role playing the place of a client relations person as well, and of course digital media analyst, where pretty much I manage the Lattice social media accounts and the Aquaculture Academy's accounts. And again, you also have Food Tech Africa. So if Food Tech Africa is another whole consortium of 20 companies, Lattice being one of the biggest shareholders. So it's a whole many companies, but that's in a very brief way. That's what I do. Yeah.
Great. And Charity, there's an amazing point you mentioned.
Mhm.
You getting this job at Lattice from social media,
Yeah.
and that's a point that will really take us to the next point of the discussion tonight when we are talking about utilizing social media for career growth. So
Yeah.
to start with, Charity,
Mm-hmm.
there are those who believe that social media is only meant, if you say you're a social media manager, as you handle for those two companies that you are at
Mm-hmm.
Pilates. And some see you as just a joke, and there is a small task that you do. And
Mm-hmm.
you, as a social media manager, in this
Mm-hmm.
discussion tonight, they are about, as we continue this discussion, we'll be in a position to explain and also to remove that myth from most
Mm-hmm.
of the viewers that a social media manager is not all about posting on social media, but there is
Yeah.
more to it.
Totally not. Yeah. All right. I'm
Yes.
happy to do that as we go along.
Thank you so much, Charity. And our viewers, if you're joining us live on Facebook or YouTube, this is the Alternative Voice. Remember to subscribe and also to follow us on our social media platforms for more of these interviews and other engagements. Thank you very much for those who are watching us across those channels. So we go straight into the discussion tonight, utilizing social media for your career growth. Charity, we have so many social media pages, social media platforms. Which one do you think can make you align yourself to a career that is not related to social media? You are a social media or a digital content associate at
Mm-hmm.
Lattice.
Mm-hmm.
It's related to social media, digital space that you are in. Those who are outside social media, how
Mm-hmm.
can they scale their heights through using social media?
Right. So for one, I think there's a point I'd like to engage before to highlight before I go to the answer. So different companies operate differently and different mediums. Just because social media works great for you, Cleophas, it doesn't mean it will work great for me. And this is what I mean. So a lot of good businesses, I'm just trying to remember the percentages. We have B2C businesses and we have B2B businesses. So these two have a different, I think the B2C one had a higher rate. Let me give it a 60% and the B2B at 50% use of social media platforms to market and to grow. So for that, first off, I would want to say that it depends on what your company does. And for example, if B2B companies, a good number of them go about, referrals and all that, but it is not a must that you must use social media. However, social media is very, very important. So this is what I mean. So as much as your business is not really oriented online, one thing that customers do is look you up. So for instance, let's say Alternative Voice is delivering mattresses.
Yes.
Yes. So for instance, if I want a mattress from the Alternative Voice, I know you do way better than mattresses. It's just a by the way. I'll look you up and see what's your presence like. What's your online presence like? Do you have any reviews? Do you have any comments? Do you have any, ratings and all that? So for
Yes.
one, as much as your business is not digital and social media oriented, it's very important because I'll bring in the aspect of there's something called the pixels, Facebook pixels, and especially when you go to the ads manager and setting up of campaigns. And the ads manager is more like a robot. I know maybe we all know about ads manager and all that. So even if your business is not really a digital space, ads manager is a platform that encompasses all businesses of all caliber, for lack of a better word. So you can still be able to use it to target and retarget the kind of people that maybe were once quality leads and dropped off, or you'd want new ones. So social media for me is all I'm trying to say is you don't have to use it. Know what works for your business first off. It could be social media, it could be referrals, it could be you going door to door and telling guys, yo, by the way, there's this and this and this. So you don't have to use it, but it's very important. So for the guys who don't have a business that's purely oriented on digital platform, it may not be the main mode way of marketing, but it is unnecessary. It's more like I don't want to call it okay, let me not use a tricky word, but yes, it's not the main objective or rather the main form of marketing, but it needs to be not a by the, but an additional form of marketing. So yeah.
So if you mention the aspect of you using social media as marketing, it's true. It's a
Mm-hmm.
it's a good tool for you to advance your reach and also to your
Yeah.
to get to your target market. And so
Yes.
that's one way growing your career if you're a business person.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Yeah.
there are those who really want to get into, we can call them those who want to work in these offices, those who want to be where you are, and
Mm-hmm.
they're wondering what should they be doing on social media. Most young people currently take social media as a pictorial sharing
Mm-hmm.
platform, and
Yeah.
so that's the main purpose of it. Is
Okay.
there something more to that?
Yes, there's something more to that. So when it comes to social media, of course, like I mentioned, there are different platforms. There's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's TikTok, and all those other platforms. So for one, as much as the social media is a place where there's a lot of pictorials and just visual media and all that, that is what works for you. One thing, visual media will always work better than plain text, and you can all you can all attest to that. So in terms of the social media, it's not just about people sharing the experiences and all that. It's actually more than that. So some of the things that I would like to highlight, for instance, is you're on social media and you would want to grow your skills. So first, start by asking yourself, what am I doing on my social that will reflect and impact my skill, my career, and give me or show people the kind of information or the kind of picture I want them to see for them to be able to hire me. So don't just go on social media, you're posting. It's not bad to post, food and all those Vasha road trips and all that. But always ask yourself, what am I posting and who am I attracting? And what impact is that having on my social media and my career? So, for instance, it depends on different platforms work differently. For example, LinkedIn is, of course, the professional app. Instagram, it's the lifestyle and all that. You want to show people what's going on and all that. And Facebook is it's a bit more oriented on the conversational bits and engaging and all that. So for me, for one, it depends on the kind of platform and being intentional with it. Intentionality is very key, because when you are intentional, you're able to post content that, for one, reflects you. So social media literally reflects you. It doesn't matter how principled or how you view yourself out here. When people come online, that's what they see and that's what they have. That's the thought they'll have of you. So in this regard, you must revamp your social media clean it up in a way that it literally represents you, be LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. So I'm not saying that start posting professional content on TikTok, on Instagram, you're all there like hero people, All I'm saying is know the platform and choose the right purpose for it, be intentional, clean it up, and at the same time be able to do something that will engage and do justice to your career. For example, with LinkedIn, actually, one interesting thing is, I'll give you a very recent example. So there's this, when I was being hired for Lattice, they hired that party to interview me before I get the job. So yesterday, the lady that interviewed me from a recruitment firm called me and she was asking me how the job has been, and one thing is, she asked me to recommend someone. So she didn't want me to send her a CV. She didn't want, how you tell people, forward me your CV and all that. She just
Yes.
requested me, like, I even just shared, because that's how it works, the LinkedIn profile of someone someone I would recommend. And this is what I mean. When recruiters go online, it's very rare for you. Actually, I think I'm trying to remember. I always, of course, update my CV. But for me personally, I'm trying to remember a time when someone told me, Charity, send me your CV. It always, when you go to LinkedIn, there's actually a tab where you're able to download someone's CV from LinkedIn. So that's what a lot of recruiters do. So if your LinkedIn is not revamped, then whatever is downloaded or whatever is appearing there is more of, it's not bringing the gist of who they are really looking for. So all I'm saying, revamp your platforms, use the right content, post yourself, and whatever. Remember, everything that you post is a whole reflection of who you are. Yes. I hope that answers the
Great.
question.
And Charity, thanks so much for that insightful explanation on how
Yeah.
social media should be taken. And for us, the young people, you've said cleaning up these social
Mm-hmm.
media spaces to get ready to this career
Yeah.
growth or the
Mm-hmm.
career prospects that we really
Mm-hmm.
intend to have as young people. There are those people who are no longer or gave up. They gave up
Mm-hmm.
on job search and they are on
Yeah.
social media. And this is where you've said these employers really go back and say, we want this platform. We want to
Mm-hmm.
see who this applicant is on social media.
Yeah.
So when you talk about cleaning up, what is
Mm-hmm.
it that we should really be looking at to clean up our social media pages to make it job ready? What is that cleaning up process?
All right. So let me start by saying the first impression speaks a lot about you. So when someone comes to your profile and first off, the profile picture, it's a selfie or it's a meme or it's a, any of those interesting in quotes stuff that people put because I mean life is never that serious, right? So that's always a turn off because for one, you want to look professional. And like I said, it depends on the platform, but either way, across the board, you really need to have a first impression. Your profile picture actually and your bio or your tagline really speaks a lot about you. So if I come to your, I don't want to use direct examples, but sometimes you bump into some profiles online and you're like, oh wow, so that's the first, that's what I mean. And secondly, I have heard of stories, and not even just stories, it's real life experiences where someone in, maybe you're in campus or you're in high school or you're recently employed, and you're like, you know what, working at an 8 to 5 job is so boring. You just tweet it. As a by this, you're tired, it's a Friday. I mean, you're overwhelmed by work, so you just go ahead and type anything that you want on social media. Trust me, one thing is people always say it's true. The social media never forgets. So ensure
Yes.
that if at all you were immature, let me put that in quotes, or you had not grown in terms of knowledge and wisdom to the point that you are currently, and you happened to have typed or tweeted or posted something that doesn't really reflect your true self right now, then go ahead and delete those posts. Trust you me, social media never forgets. So you just want to ensure that employers can go all the way to your very first post. It doesn't matter how many you post per day. So yeah, just clean it up and ensure that everything that is on your platform represents you. And then the other bit is in terms of groups. So I know that there's a diverse category of, and categories of groups, and sometimes let me just talk about Facebook, for instance, or the kind of things that you like, or the kind of on LinkedIn you can as well be able to see what this person is liking or what they follow and all that. So if whatever you follow doesn't really appear professional, and it doesn't, I'm not saying like music or all that, there are just some things that are not, that don't, you know, register well in the eyes of a recruiter and all that. So that would be my next point. And then the other thing is in terms of cleaning it up, you just want to ensure that you have your top skills. Like if I come to your profile, I can definitely see your top skills. I don't have to dig through or even look through your CV or call you to ask you, by the way, what are your top skills? So cleaning it up as well means organizing yourself in a way that if I come there and I'm a recruiter, I'm able to get all the details that I need to get from you without much struggle. And trust me, recruiters get a million and very many CVs. Actually, there's a research, I'm forgetting which one, that says a recruiter takes about 5 seconds. When they open, you see all those emails that you send, 5 seconds opens. In the first 5 seconds, someone will have known whether they'll be going through the CV or not, or going through the next process with the candidate. So always revamp and always clean it up in a way that your brief, like first impression, everything is clear about what you do and what you're good at. Yes. Yeah, and many other pointers I have on cleaning it up. There's an IG live I did actually with Renaud Owor, and it's pretty much on LinkedIn and cleaning up your LinkedIn. So you can go ahead and check that out at Centonomy Career Hub Instagram, or Charity Mbithe. Yeah, you'll be able to find that if you want more details on how to clean up your LinkedIn and all that.
Great. Cleaning up, as you've had, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very critical part of our discussions. And in anything that you do as far as career growth is concerned, have the cleaner side of you outside there so that you be ready to grab the opportunities that come your way. We are taking this fast break to check on your comments on Facebook and YouTube. Remember, you can join us live on this great discussion through the comments on the comment section. Tell us where you're watching us from, and also feel free to tell us where are you tuned in from, or with who are you watching this live show with Bill Hajoy, Best Star Prof. A second tune. Yes, Bill Hajoy, Motangulia Haji. That's Mimi Bree tuned in from Caroline Omolo tuned. Thank you very much. Mimi Bree, Esau, whoa. I'm the second one. No, watu wamekuja hapa kweli kweli. Mimi Bree Siokimau is watching. Thank you very much, Mimi Bree. And Mimi Bree, I know the content you are doing on YouTube is also amazing one, and so feel free to share with our audience one day here on what you do, and also we can see how to support each other on these channels. Alex Onsase, just wondering on how Bill found herself as the first viewer tonight, and we have more comments and even the questions. Feel free to share with us the questions that you really want Charity to answer tonight. And we have Best Star Prof. Can you justify content creators, e.g. upcoming comedians, having potential to attract the audience, of which is a market target? Meanwhile, are they in line with career development other than comedy? Charity, some of these questions will be answering them as they roll so that we don't forget to tackle them.
All right, so let me start off by saying own your craft. So by owning your craft, I mean, for instance, and there was actually this conversation, this reminded me of a conversation that was coming up when I was finishing school, that journalism is easily being replaced by comedians and all that. So did that comment move? Oh, okay, no.
Is it true?
For one, well, depends on how you look at it. So let me just read this again. Can you justify content creators, e.g. upcoming comedians, having potential to attract the audience, of which it is a market target? Meanwhile, are they in line with career development other than comedy? So one thing, yes, they're definitely in line with career development other than comedy. And one thing that you'll notice amongst these top or influencer comedians is that they are often used by companies to do promotions, the likes of Flaco, Crazy Kenai, and all those other comedians. So yes, they are definitely in line with their career development. And one thing for sure is when we say career, people like to think of it as, hey, it's numbers, it's wearing your suit and going to the office, 8 to 5 job. No, your career is there's a difference between a career and a job. So let me just highlight that. So a job is, Charity is the communications associate at Lattice. That's my job. But my career is in communications. That means that everything that I do, and pretty much it's more like a lifetime thing that you are pursuing every other day. So that's what your career is. So in this, in relation to the content creators who are comedians and other upcoming comedians, so you'll realize that, of course, comedy it's actually even a career. Like whatever your craft is, on your craft. That's all I'm saying. On your craft and show your shine. So whatever you shine at, show that people and make it your career and go big with it or go home. So that's so pretty much say yes, they are totally in line with career development and are them attracting an audience. So let me just go ahead and say this. So there are different types of ways or marketing that you can use to attract an audience. So I'll just highlight, there's an organic way, there's a promotional way, there's an awareness bit, there's there are other ways, but let me just clarify down as literally I'm thinking on my feet. So let me just keep it going as I clarify on that. Yes. So for instance, there's an audience depending on your target audience. So for one, your audience always matters and your personas. So there's an audience that likes serious stuff. And if you're selling Microsoft Excel packages or G Suite packages or all that, that works. But at the same time, you realize that we are all universal users. We all use Omo at some point. We all use toothpaste. We all use, the common needful things. So in that case, your target market really matters and the platform as well. So for instance, Close Up, it's a serious brand. And of course, if Flaco, let me use Flaco a lot because I kind of watch him and like him in the way that in his career rather. So you realize that for him, he can do a funny video about his mom, bugging him or for not brushing teeth, blah, blah, and then Close Up, dara, The point is, for one, and in terms of the posting, you'll realize that his posting is very timely, because that's maybe a time when people are tired from work. So you definitely want to see something funny, and when you see it, you laugh, but close up will stick to your head. So pretty much, as much as it's about comedy, the main goal is still being met. They're growing their careers, they're growing their monies, they're reaching their goals, and at the same time, a career should always help you reach your goal. So if at all this career and this partnership with this buyer who wants to advertise on their platforms, using those funny jokes, of course they're getting money and they're funding their careers and their goals pretty much. So I think all I'm trying to say is, your career doesn't mean that it's a 8 to 5 job and white collar job and all that. Your career can be what you want to make it, and on your shine, on your craft, and be big with it.
Great. Thanks so much, Charity, for answering Best Staff Prof tonight. And we get more comments on our discussion tonight. Feel free to share with us where you're watching us from. Pacific Nyarfibi, representing Siaya County. Thank you very much. Among others, Wellington, Katera, Bill Hajoy. Tell them you're just behind. Tell them, yes, we'll be getting more of such. Tell them okay. Amazing coach. Just behind the amazing coach. Okay. We'll be getting that shortly. Sharon Ndiwa watching. Thank you very much, Sharon. And also we have, who else before you come to the discussion? Amsterdam, America. Hapo ndio Charity na watch live. Agwanda, Austin, gaining a lot. JL Empire, tuned. Timely, karibu. Anawatch kutoka wapi? Kiambu ama wapi? Yes. Alex Onsase, Don Apple Jaka, great to hear from Charity, watching from Kochi, India. By the way, mnakaa poa, asante sana. Yes, this is a step in the right direction from the Alternative Voice. Paul Kisia, ready to listen, and we are here already talking to our guest tonight, and that's Charity Mbithe, strategic communications expert, who is our guest tonight. Zako Mondi, Mbithe, namkumbuka tukipiga story ya Kagigo Mwalida pale houses. Hao walikuwa naishi houses. Good work. Ama walikuwa naishi D houses in Moi University. Thank you very much, Zako Mondi, for representing. We have a listener, a viewer who is watching us live from South Africa, and that's Lina. Shiro Kim watching. Hello, dear Charity. Thank you so much, Shiro, for tuning in tonight. Wellington, Lina Hafiwe, boy, Mkize. Insightful indeed. Yes, that's Lina watching from South Africa. Thank you so much, and we pray for your country as you gain your normal lives back. Wellington, Katera, Garissa, watching live. Feel free to share with us the comments and the questions that you have, that which you want to share with Charity tonight. Feel free. This is the Alternative Voice. Remember, you can subscribe, and we can show you how this page is, because some of you are really asking, which page is this that we really want to subscribe to? And this is the page, if you can see it on your screens, and that's the page for the Alternative Voice. So you can be asking yourself, this is the page, and this is the show that is currently live, if you can see it. If we can just refresh so that you can see it, so that you know what we're doing. This is the show that is live, and as you can see it, utilizing social media. Feel free to share with us where you are watching us from. And for you to catch the next show, just click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. And we'll be here to show you more on how we do our shows. So just press subscribe, and we'll be coming back with this discussion now. And we have lots of questions lined up, of course, from our audience tonight. And if you can get some from Mimi Brie. Hi, Charity. There's one there. Yes.
Right.
How do you understand your niche before you build it on social media?
Right. Thank you, Brie, for that question. So what I would say is, for one, always start from you. And this, I mean, what are you good at? So the moment, just sit down and ask yourself. So for me, I remember in 2019, I actually sat down and asked myself, what do people say I'm good at? And what do I think I am good at? And what am I actually good at? So when you answer these questions, you're able to know who to connect to and who to connect with and your target audience. I'm seeing myself hanging on screen. Cleophas, can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, all right. So all what I'm saying, Brie, is that you need to identify what you're good at, and the moment you identify what you are good at, you ask yourself, who do you? One thing for sure, you're not for everyone. You are totally not for everyone. So you have your own niche and your own target. So once you're able to identify what you are good at, you're able to identify the kind of target that you want to, the kind of audience that you want, them to see your visibility. So, for example, if you identify that you're good in communication, one thing about LinkedIn, it's a very smart robot. So it literally connects you to like-minded people. So that's why it's very important for you and very key for you to connect with the right kind of people. So go on LinkedIn, look for communication strategies, look for public relations officers, look for all that. And actually, even when you do that, you're able to get suggestions on related careers or other related titles and all that. So you're able to ensure that you're connecting with the right kind of people, you're being viewed by the right kind of audience. So that way your niche kind of, you're able to address that niche because you already know what you're good at and what you want. And the other thing is, in terms of that, also identify your goals. So for instance, set a goal for yourself. So if you want to connect with 100 communications professionals, if you want to be in a group, and by this I mean, as you understand your niche, you need to put yourself and expose yourself in platforms that challenge you and platforms that grow you. For instance, this can include joining groups on LinkedIn or Facebook or all that are based on communication, and that will help you be able to see what others are doing in the space. So as much as you're highlighting what you're good at, you're able to see what others also are doing, and that can also give you ideas on what you can do or what to compare from. Not competition, but more like a comparison of what you can be able to do with that. And then as well, expose yourself to a lot of knowledge, and these I mean Google. Like I said, I'm really passionate about communication, so I'll just give examples based on communication. So go ahead and first of all do research on what it is that you're interested in. Once you identify this is what I want to, this is what I'm good at, or this is what I want to do, then go ahead and learn more about it. So for example, communication, there's public relations, there's media, there's all that. So what do you want to focus on? So when you're able to identify that, then you're able to keep understanding your niche and polishing it, keeping your shine always and showing it. So yeah, that's what I would say. And at the same time, making relevant connections, I think I already mentioned that. But one thing for sure, don't force it. I always like to tell people, do not force it. If it's not your cup of tea, just because it's great, it's doing well, or working for other people, it doesn't mean to work out for you. So just don't force it. When you feel like you're really forcing it, just I'm not saying stop, but yeah, just rethink it, go back, research, introspect, and go
Charity.
back again to identifying what it is that you really really want, and expose yourself again to a lot of knowledge. I mean, take courses online. There are so many free courses on Coursera. Even Google offers so many of them, and so many unlimited apps that you can be able to grow your skills depending on what you want. So just keep exposing yourself to that, and with time you're able to understand your field more, or whatever you want to be interested in. Yes.
Charity. And I would like to get it
Cleophas,
from you. There are
can you hear
those,
me?
uh, I don't know if there's a delay. I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Cleophas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Uh, from our production end, maybe we can sort the issue of the delay that we are having with Charity. I don't know if it's on
Yes.
our end, but we can try fixing it out with our guest. Charity, you're back. Can you hear me?
Huh.
We'd like to know where the delay is coming from. But meanwhile, tell us your insights about how you think social media can be useful on your end. And we have Moses Mungai. We can just be going
I
through
can
this.
hear you. Your screen, or rather, your face is hanging.
All right. So maybe we sort it out in a few, then come back. Dawn, the production end, we can see Charity, you can leave, then join again, and we'll be able to admit you back to the stream. So thank you very much. Charity has been sharing some great insights. And so if you're wondering who our guest is tonight, and that's one Charity Mbithe, she'll be here in a few. Noela Chemutai, just to go through your comments and appreciate you. Noela Chemutai, Immaculate Awino Tune, Moses Mungai, wow, Charity is full of great insights. Na learn a lot sana. Aha, Shirokim, what skills help you be an effective social media manager? Charity, you're back. Hi.
Hi.
Maneno ya mitandao inaweza
Thank you,
fanya
thank you. Sorry, I
turudi
think
Amsterdam ya Amerika. And I don't know if again you've just frozen on the screen, but we have amazing insights coming from Charity tonight as we try to explore on this topic, utilizing social media for career growth. What's your experience on using social
so that
media
I
for your
think my
career advancement? Yes, we'd like to get that from you. Charity, if you can hear me before we check your internet connection again. I don't know if it's stable enough on your end, but the production team is working on this so that we can get her back online. And if you can just test, yes, it's true. On Charity's end, we are having a delay. And so she'll be joining us in a few because as it stands now, we can't really get to her. But this is just to appreciate you found time to join this live discussion. Abednego, I'm just tuned from Karibangi South. Salute to the prudent discussion. Thanks so much, Abednego. Abednego Haukwa. Thank you so much. Noela Chemutai, thank you so much. Moses Mungai, Mimi Bray, Austin Agwanda. Wow, gaining a lot. Esau Odhiambo, tuned in from YouTube. The discussion is healthy. I highly appreciate. Tune in from our university. Thank you so much. Paul Kinuthia, can social media ruin your career? What are some of the worries that you have? Actually, have you been on social media? Do you know how traumatizing it is to lose a job because of a single social media post that you did? First, do you remember the story of one lady called Pauline Njoroge? She got her appointment withdrawn after some social media post emerged that she did so many years ago, if I can say in 2012, about our wildlife and how SGR should be passing through a national park. And that led to the withdrawal of that appointment. That was Pauline Joroge by then, when she was appointed in that committee to in the Ministry of Tourism. So your past comes to the present to haunt you just because of one mistake that you did on your social media. And that's why we're having Charity Mbithe here tonight to talk about how we can use social media to advance or to grow our career. So Charity is here again to talk to us on this. Charity, can you hear us now on your end? It might be taking long, but we are patient with Charity and ready to learn here.
yes. My sincere apologies. The internet keeps doing its thing, so receive my apologies for that. Now I can hear you well. I had to restart my machine. Okay.
Great, Great, Charity. I know by the time you'll be getting this, you'll go straight in the discussion. And Paul Kinuthia has a question for you. Can social media ruin your career? If you can take it from that end.
Yes, thank you so much, Cleophas, and let me give the name straight, Paul, for that question. So yes, social media can either build or ruin your career. So it can ruin your career. Remember earlier on when I was talking about social media never ever forgets. So if at all, I mean, if you're the CEO somewhere of, or the, director or the chairman of the board of Safaricom and all that, and one thing happened. I mean, right now I'm trying to recollect a lot of examples that I have in my mind, and even real, and that, which are actually real life examples of how social media actually ruined your career. But pretty much, I would actually say social media doesn't ruin your career; you ruin it for yourself. So it may have been a one point instance of a little bit of recklessness, or a point where you didn't really think of the future. So now people come back. Unaona zile blue screenshots rather from the archives. They all come one day and they betray you. So it can't really ruin your career. I mean, it's the platform that has been used, or rather it's the platform where maybe your career can be ruined. But really thinking about it, you are the person that ruined your career by maybe being a bit of reckless, or maybe not considering that in the future that thing may actually cost you your career. So I wouldn't say it can really ruin your career. But again, I mean, there are different ways of seeing it. It could be from your side, in the sense that you posted irresponsibly. So in that case, it's you. It really originates from your end. But and in terms of social media, really itself, like literally, Facebook ruining your career, Instagram ruining your career. I don't know where there's a lot of delay. Everything was well. Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, and you've given pretty good examples and also explanations on how Paul Kinothia's question was directed to you. And now we have Moses Mungai in our get. Salamikieni. I'm here as part of social media, social platforms beneficiary. Great place to get extra wisdom and earnings. Thanks so much, Moses Mungai, for that. And we have Caroline Mwanzia, learning a lot. Thanks so much for that. And we have this question from one of our audience tonight. And if you can just get it, we have this question from Wellington, who is watching us from Garissa. What about some people who use fake name? Can't it ruin your career when you're making such applications? And just to add on this, Charity, before you come in and answer it, there is a screenshot that has been seriously going on social media about the names that you use on your email when applying for these jobs. Some are just seen as bots and not as real people, and that really brings your application level or probability of you getting the job to a lower point. What can you advise on those people who use fake names? Can it ruin your career? Or is it now social media ruining your career? Or is it you ruining your own career through the fake names that you use on your accounts? Yes, Charity, can you hear? Seemingly, we've lost Charity, Mbithe, and we'll be adding her once the internet connections are restored on our end. And just to tell you, we are 48 minutes past 8 p.m. That's East Africa time. And we have all these viewers, amazing viewers with good questions asked to our audience. But to the guest tonight, that's Charity Mbithe, what's your worry? Uh, what is it that you're really getting? What will be the challenge? We currently having issues to do with internet connections on charities end, but we've had amazing discussion as far as career development on social media is concerned. And Zach Wesonga is tuned. Thanks so much, bro, for tuning in live from Facebook, and you are there. Thank you so much. Guest Akirudi Mulize, tell me more about your experience managing social media. Can some of you tell us these kind of experiences? Mimi Bree, are you around? Can you share with us your personal experience? And we'd like within this remaining 10 minutes, if you can get one person just to give us a testimony of how this social media has helped you. You can ask the production end to post the link for this live show on the comment section so that those who really want to join us can join us and contribute as we continue waiting for charity. Otherwise, we have Immaculate Awino, who is tuned from Nairobi or Siaya County. Moses Mungai, charity full of great insights. Thanks so much for this discussion. I learn a lot. Tell us, where are you tuned in from? And we'd like to get it more from you on a personal experience on managing social media as an intern, as a job. At times, some people don't understand what you really do, and there are jobs that those people really share online. Have you ever gotten reference like umeambiwa uende ufanye kazi mahali na your social media is being scrutinized? Have you ever been a victim to such cases? Yes, feel free. Share with us your personal experience. Charity is here. If it's internet connections, I think they're now gone for jina la Yesu. Charity, mambo.
Hey, poa sana, ishindo katika jina la Yesu. I've actually restarted my machine again. So my apologies for that. I don't know what keeps happening. But now you can hear me well?
Yes.
Okay.
So Charity, before
So
you
before I
went,
dropped off, I think I got one
yes,
question that was on about.
continue.
So I think there's another delay. Okay. Yeah, so allow me just to finish up. So yeah, I remember there was a question that was asking the situation for the people who don't use the exact names on social media. Does that ruin their career? And my simple answer is yes. Although it depends on what kind of name you're using. So for instance, I would tie it up with email. Sometimes you'll apply a job and the email address reads at gmail.com, or on social media platforms you don't really use your name. I would say consistency is very key, as well as uniformity and alignment. So if you're in a position to just align all your names on social media. Of course, it doesn't have to be across all platforms, but across the major platforms, it really does a lot of justice and not disservice to yourself. So because if a recruiter is looking you up and they've seen, hey, this lady or this gentleman has a well-revamped CV, we definitely need this person. But let's just let's take a minute and look at what they do on social media. Then definitely it will change your name, because they're looking for charity, but then they're finding Charita Hari, or they're not finding anyone anyway, because that's not you. So they'll wonder why are you not on social media. So at the same time, you just end up doing a lot of disservice to yourself. So just use your appropriate names for the apps that matter. All apps matter, but for your right apps, for the apps that work for you. And maybe just to go ahead and answer this question I'm seeing on screen. Tell me about your experience managing social media accounts. So I would say, for one, it can be very overwhelming if you don't have a strategy around it. So for me, I prefer using Hootsuite. So Hootsuite is one of the social media management tools that you can use to manage, especially a large number of accounts, and you're able to assign different users and assign them different tasks. So at the same time, there's Creator Studio. I think a good number of people know about it on Facebook. So you're able to schedule content across Facebook and Instagram, and even add a good number of accounts. So yes, for me, my experience, for one, it was very overwhelming long ago, and I didn't really know how to penetrate and go through it. There's this campaign, there's this company, there's just a lot that you need to do. But at the same time, my experience is know the right platform to use and maximize on it. And then secondly, scheduling always helps me. So in this sense, there are days that you're very busy, you're tied up with work. And like I said, I think Cleophas hinted this in the beginning when he said that social media management is not just about social media. So sometimes social media, sometimes you hardly have time to even just do one post per day. So scheduling always works. So my experience is that create content up to 3 weeks. For me, always like scheduling content up to even 3 weeks or even a month. So you have a schedule of, let's say, from on Monday it's testimonials that go, on Tuesday it's a blog that goes, on Wednesday it's a video or a funny thing. Just have a schedule and arrange your content, schedule your content in advance, and schedule it so that you're in a position to breathe and do other stuff as content keeps going out there. And then my other experience in terms of advertising and awareness and marketing pretty much is know the kind of campaign to use. So on Ads Manager, there are different campaigns that you use. Sometimes you may end up using one like a lead generation campaign for a campaign that was actually supposed to be a conversion campaign or a web to traffic campaign. So always know the kind of campaign that you want to use, and always have targets and know how, because you see every lead per click per lead is always money lost on your end. So always know the kind of campaigns to run. And yes, I can talk about until 10 p.m. just about my experience. But one thing I really love it, once you have your content, once you clean up and plan yourself, then social media management becomes very easy for you. You're even able to manage several accounts. But yeah, that in a nutshell has been my experience. It's been lovely. Just know the right platforms to use, maximize on them, schedule your content on time. And the other thing actually is in terms of the timing. So don't just you don't just share content anytime you feel like it or when you get an opening. Know the right time that works for each platforms, where when your target market or your target persona is online and all that. So there are a lot of things to consider, and there's a whole I can say about my social media management experience. But once you have your craft right, once you research, and once you know the right kind of resources to use and how to set goals and timelines for your scheduling and all that, then you're able to. It's an easy job. You live and enjoy it in the long run. Yeah.
Great, Charity. Before you take this question from Shirokim, if you can hear me, if you'd like to just give a brief, there are those people whose careers are just on the line and they really want to know just when it comes to making these job applications. And thanks so much for answering the previous question by JL Empire. And we'd like to know more about networking and also on how it can play a good role or a key role in your career growth on social media, who to meet and who not to interact with while on social media. And also in the same light, if you'd like to bring it to our attention, is it necessary to have a social media account for you to scale into these job prospects that you're looking at? And tie that together with what Shirokim is asking, and it's displayed on the screen. Mimi Bree, that is Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a tool used to manage social media platform. Unauliza Hoot what? Yes, it's Hootsuite. And so it's a tool that can help you manage the social media accounts with a lot of ease. So Charity, with those, if you can give us your thoughts on it.
All right, sure, happy to. Let me start with Kim's question. What skills help you be an effective social media manager? So I'll highlight the ones that I think, or rather the ones I deem to be very key, like hands-on. So for one is communication. You need to know how to communicate to the audience, and literally the social media database and everyone to the digital space. So know how to articulate your words, know how to don't make the content too long, don't make it too short, just communication, know what to communicate at the right time. And then secondly is in terms of customer service. So as much as you want to be a social media social media manager. So you definitely want and get the whole point of social media is for one to create public relations and to keep engaging with your customers and all that. So ensure that if someone inquires about something, you are hands-on on it. Your response time should not even be beyond 1 day, 24 hours feedback. So always be hands-on in terms of engaging with clients and just getting back, getting giving them content and just getting back to them and all that. And the other bit is in terms of creativity. What I mean by this is in terms of the copies, in terms of the visual media to use. You can use GIS, you can use photographs, you can use videos, you can use all that. So be very creative. Creativity is a very great skill for a social media manager because you're able to play around and tweak things on the go depending on your kind of audience and the kind of ads that you need to run pretty much. Yes. I would say the other thing would be da 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 da. Let's say, for instance, you are improvising. Let me call it in layman's language. Improvising is very key, and improvising, I mean, you need to identify and tweak things on the go. You need to be a very fast thinker. So actually, creative thinking slash effectiveness is a very important skill, because you're able to think on the go. And sometimes, let's say, for instance, someone, because if you have several social media managers in your company and one person just messes it up, you need to be very hands-on and very prompt and very effective and quick to action things on your end, because that will be able to save the brand of the company and all that. So you need to be very quick in terms of, and very effective and efficient in terms of what you do online. Yes, and then I would say a good knowledge in terms of the digital, of the current traditional and even digital marketing. You need to have good knowledge on that so that you're able to know, even if it's just social media, you need to know what works for the traditional forms, billboards and all that, and then what works now. So just being able to have all that, all-rounded, being an all-rounded person in terms of what works and what channels of marketing need to be used or are currently existing, that actually plays a lot well on your side. And then maybe to add one more, I would say in terms of making connections, so you are a social media manager and you definitely need to connect to your clients. You definitely need to connect to your customers. So being in the know-how and knowing where your clients are, that would be another important skill. Knowing who you attract and knowing where your clients are is a very important social media management skill, because you're able to connect with the right kind of people. You're able to make relations with the right kind of people, even in boxing some of them, and just knowing how they are doing and all that. So yeah, that's what I would be able to say. And one more, maybe to finish it up, is it's very key, it's very important for you not just to manage social media, but it's always good to have results backing it up. So good social media data analysis skills are very important, so that you're able to know, as of this month we had this much engagement, this much impressions, this many click-through rates, this many conversions, this many more followers, this many likes, comments and all that, and all those other data analytics that we use on social media to track for traction and just looking at how the pages are doing. So that is very, in fact, I would switch all that, whatever I've said, to the top, because it's always about results. You really need good data analysis skills. So I think that's how I would wrap it up. Cleophas, I know I've spoken for a while. Do you mind just rephrasing, or rather just giving me a quick heads up on the other question that you had asked?
Thank you so much, Charity Mbithe, for the discussion that we've had tonight. We have questions that are still.
By the way, I'm still experiencing some delay. I really hope you can hear me.
Yes, and we have the questions from Mimi Bree, and we also have an experience from Austin Agwanda. Before we get to the question from Mimi Bree, my experience, that's from Austin Agwanda. I was removed from reporting political stories after I was seen with a t-shirt supporting a certain coalition. It was in 2017. Post that came to haunt me in 2019. So unfortunate, Austin. Pole sana. And now I know you're doing a great job where you are, and keep up the good work. And now we have this question from Mimi Bree and Simon Okoyunchi. Thank you very much, Justin from Nakuru. Mimi Bree, how do you know the right timing? Because my social media schedules change, and sometimes the timings don't bring the same traffic. So while answering that question, Charity, you can also take that moment to bring the discussion to an end and to give your last remarks on the topic that we've had tonight.
All right, thank you so much, Cleophas. So on the bit of social media posting and scheduling, for one, I would say the client is always right. I'll always think about the client. So it's not based on my availability or scheduling time. It's more of what time the customer will see it and all that. So I get you when you say that your schedules change and sometimes the timings don't bring the same traffic. So there's, again, I really love Hootsuite because it and even Social Pilot and all those other social media management tools, because you can research online and see the kind of researches that they've done, and this is based on the best timings to post on social media. And actually different apps have different timings and different timings and different frequencies. So for one, you want to set a frequency which is favorable so that at the same time you're delivering content and you're not bugging your audience. So in terms of scheduling, you need to identify how many times are you scheduling and what time works, because definitely weekdays don't work as weekends. Sometimes some mornings don't work as some evenings. Thursdays for LinkedIn apparently is a good day and all that. So just go ahead and research in terms of the kind of business that you're doing, a B2C or a B2B, what's the best time to be able to post on the different platforms. Because at the same time, again, different businesses operate differently and customers operate differently as well, depending on the day, depending on the time, depending on even the seasons, even the month. For example, January, everyone is so psyched up and so there's a lot of research that you can jump into a lot of research reports that are actually based on proper research on what times are recommended for you to post, and they actually keep changing. I've seen that you've said they keep changing and having different tractions, so it's always to stay updated on the current tractions and the current report on when is the best time to do social media post and all that. So please have a look at that. I'm happy to share a report, the latest report, maybe when you can reach me on Charity Mbithe LinkedIn, and then I can be able to share with you 1, 2, 3 on the latest one, even Sprout Social and all that. Yes. So with that, thank you so much, Cleophas, for hosting me. My parting shot: please just revamp your social media presence, clean it up, I repeat, and share your skills. Let people know about you the first few 5 seconds they interact with your bio, and then interact with like-minded people. Do expose yourself to a lot of platforms that expand your mind, challenge your mind, grow your mind, such as groups, connecting with the right kind of people, learning new skills digitally, or even enrolling for all those skills that are going to grow your career. And at the same time, learn through new insight, what's new in the market. Keep yourself updated as the things go by, because I mean, today this thing may be big, tomorrow it's long gone and forgotten. And then at the same time, know how to pick your platforms, know your target audience, and very most importantly, know your shine and own it. Know your shine, know what you're good at, and own it. And don't be afraid of it. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out things, especially when you're starting. You're like, oh wow, am I ready for people to see that side of me? Because I don't feel like I'm very competent, or I don't feel like I'm yet to get there for me to be able to be seen by such people. No, there's no day that you'll actually feel like, hey, you know what? Today I am all set and all that. So just go ahead and take that extra step. Go cross over that uncomfortable board and just, do you and know your shine and own it. Yes, so don't force it. Like I said, whatever works for one person doesn't have to work for you, but just keep trying until it makes all sense. Yeah, so I think that's all from me. And very important, set goals for yourself as well. Just tell yourself. I remember when I was revamping my LinkedIn last year, I actually had a target of, let's say, for example, make 5 connections with these CEOs or this number of people at the end of the every day until the end of this time. At the same time, be hosted in, for example, this amazing live session 3 times in the first quarter or something like that. Like have goals for yourself, not just for social media, but even for your career, and you're able to actually accomplish it. And actually, how we work for companies, and every quarter you have to do reports, you have to expose to the objectives of the company and goals. Take yourself as a company. The same way you run your company, run your career the same way. Set goals after every quarter, go back to them, readjust, give yourself a heads up where you've done well. I mean, a thumbs up where you've done well and all that. So always operate like a company, even with all those mission, visions, and all that. So pretty much all I'm saying, take yourself seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one else will take you seriously. Yes, and I repeat again, know your shine and own it. Yes. So thank you so much, Cleophas, for having me. It's been real. I've had fun. I've enjoyed. So if you have more questions, I don't know if I've managed to answer all questions, but I'm happy to answer the rest of the questions to the team. You can just reach out to me via Charity Mbithe at LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And just FYI, you can check us up: Lattice Consulting, Lattice Training, Lattice Aquaculture, and as well as Aquaculture Academy, which we recently launched. So if you're interested in fish farming, or are a fish farmer, or interested in all those aquaculture value chain development, feel free to check us up. We actually have two campuses, one in Kamudanga Fish Farm and the other one in Juliet, which is in Homa Bay, and we have the August 2021 intakes upcoming. Yes, thank you so much. It's been me, Charity Mbithe, the Communications and Digital Content Associate at Lattice, strategic communications expert, and thank you for having me. Have a lovely good night, and God bless you so much. Thank you, Cleophas.
Thank you so much, Charity Mbithe, for honoring the invite to join us in this live discussion. Own your shine and do what with it?
Own your shine. Sorry?
Yes, it's always a pleasure having you every night, our guests, and to our viewers. Thank you so much for always being here with us. It's been nice having you, Charity. Feel free to follow Charity on the pages running down on your screen so that you can be able to answer more of your questions. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a good night, and thanks everyone for joining. Subscribe and follow the channel. That is the Alternative Voice. I've been your host, Cleophas. Till next week on